I'm going to try to make a website, a fairly standard kind of layout. I've got index.html, stylesheet.css. What I'm aiming for is a website that looks a bit like this, pretty normal layout where I've got margin on each side. I've got a heading block, got a kind of navigational sidebar here, and a main content kind of block. This big rectangle is the actual page itself. And what I'm going to do is use divs to do this. So each block will be a div, so you'll be able to see those, and there will also be a div which you won't be able to see, which kind of contains those ones like that. So if I just dive into here, this is the index.html, but so far I haven't got anything, but I do need to make sure I've got the style sheet linked to style sheet. So let's just check that that works as it's supposed to. So if I hop into the actual style sheet, I'm going to change the body background color. So body background color, I'll make a nice shade of beautiful green. Save that, and open it up. Wonderful. So I now know that I'm linking correctly to that other file. So what I'm going to do is put in a div for that main container, the red container that we saw. So div, and I need to give it a name so I can refer to it in the style sheet. I'm going to say ID equals, I'm going to call it my wrapper, and everything's going to go inside my wrapper. So / div. So all my content is going to go into there. So while I'm here, I will just quickly make sure I've got that set up. So because it's an ID, I'm going to use a hash in front of it, wrapper, and I'll make the background color something nice, kind of red. We won't really see this very much though. Now I need to add some more information here. So a semicolon, hit enter. I'm going to say width. I'm going to make the width 80% of the page, and here's a crucial one. I'm going to make the margin, and I'm going to make the margin an auto. And what that means is it's automatically going to put a margin on each side of this wrapper, which will be effectively 10% of the page, and it will center it in the middle of the page, which is exactly what we want. Now I'm going to be nice and tidy here. I'm going to indent these and make sure everything is nice and clear. That is the CSS which applies to the wrapper. Save that. Let's have a look at the actual page. Reload. Nothing there yet. There's no actual content inside it. It's probably one of the main reasons for that. Yeah, that's right. So now I need to put a couple of bits of information about the other blocks. So I'm going to have a wrapper in my page, sorry, a header. So div ID equals speech mark header, not the same as the head of the document, of course. I'm going to put some text in there. This is my heading, and close that div. I've got a very small bit of content right there. Save that. Just quickly see that that comes through. This is my heading. That's interesting. And go back to here, and I'm going to make the header have a bit of styling. So I'm going to say background color of my header, just so I can see that everything's a bit different, a nice greeny kind of color. And I'm going to make the header width 100%, and that's probably all I actually need to do with the header for now. Just check how that looks. Yep, got that background fitting in there nicely. So back to the CSS. I'm now going to do that navigation, the HTML. So I'm going to do that navigation sidebar. So div ID equals navigation. I'm going to put in a couple of links here. I won't bother doing the whole thing. So link 1, just to bring it down onto the next line. Link 2, and these are line breaks, these BRs. Link 3, and close that div. Save that. Let's just have a quick look at how that looks unstyled right across the page. So let's go into the CSS and say the navigation, we're going to make the width of that, we're going to make that say 20% of the current div that it's in, and what we're going to do is going to make it float to the left of the rest of the content. Should we give it a different colour as well? I think we should. So background colour, we'll make a nice greeny kind of colour. That's not green, more magenta. How does that look? Kind of like that looks about right. So now, last thing we need to do is put the main content in. So div ID equals, I'm going to call this one main content, and here's the main text. It's good. And / div, just for neatness I'll take those spaces out that I seem to automatically put in. So save that, and just have a quick look at how that looks. Let's put it up there. We do need to make sure that it is properly styled, although it has hopped into the correct place. So I'm going to go down here and say main content, and I'm going to make width 80%, and I'm going to make it float right. And now everything should behave itself. Let's just check. Go back to here. I didn't set a colour for it. I should go and do that just to make sure we've got everything pretty. Background colour. That's a nice colour. Semicolon.